This video is sponsored by Wing Technology, your ultimate flight sim hardware solution.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. For today's valued viewer request, we have from Goodman. Hey Cap, new ideas for videos. 1. Star navigation. Is it modeled in DCS using constellations, stars, the Big Dipper, the North Pole, the Pole Star, etc.? Can you navigate? That's for another day because that requires a lot of research. But how interesting, right, RC? For instance, the SR-71's primary navigation was via star. Can you even imagine that? I mean, how clever is that, right?
Yeah.
He's not very enthusiastic, but he agrees it is very clever.
I'm trying to work on your other channel while you're doing this too.
That's excellent news, RC. Agreed, that's an excellent thing. That's not for today, though. It's going to require some research. 2, something a bit more pertinent for today. Can you replicate the landing pattern of the Space Shuttle? And this is really super cool. So, Space Shuttle, maybe one of the best vehicles, if not the best vehicle ever made in the world. Maybe apart from Saturn V. So we need to get some information about it. I've got this bit of information. Everyone listen, please.
Altitude 55,000 feet, range to the landing site 68 miles.
At 55,000, obviously this is coming from orbit and it's coming in. So at the regime that we care about, which is within about 60,000 feet, that's what our aeroplanes can go to in DCS. At 55,000 feet, it's 68 miles away from the runway. That's got our basic glide slope set up for us, okay? The next piece of information, we need to know how fast it's going at that point when it enters 55,000 feet. So let's go and have a look. At an altitude of approximately 30 miles, that's really high. That's like 150, 180,000 feet. The orbiter makes a series of maneuvers and S-turns to slow its speed. At 9.5 miles, that's what we care about. That's about 55,000 feet, miles in altitude. And at a speed of Mach 1, the orbiter can be steered using its rudder. So, at 55,000 feet, 68 miles away from the threshold, she's doing Mach 1. That's all the information we need, essentially, to go and replicate it. From that, we've got the glide slope. Out of interest, at touchdown, it's going about 250 miles per hour. And you can see here at 13,000 MSL, we're at 360 miles per hour. So we've got to go and get the closest thing we can to that in DCS. Now, that's a pretty poor glide ratio, as we call it. As you can see, the shuttle is simply not much of a glider. It's really big, it's really heavy, and doesn't have a vast amount of wing. So I'm thinking MiG-21. How do you feel about that, RC?
Yeah.
Stand by. Welcome back, valued viewers. We're now in a MiG-21. We are at 55,000 feet MSL. The runway in front of us is, I can't see it because it's too far, it's at 68 miles, and we are at exactly Mach 1. That's 207 knots at this altitude. Will give us a local Mach of 1. We can prove that there. We're just above Mach 1 with the needle there. Finding the suitable or maximum glide ratio for an aircraft means flying at the correct speed by balancing our aft stick. We want to balance our angle of attack with the amount of drag that we're creating. Now, each aircraft with a certain weight setup will find that best speed to drag ratio at a certain speed. I have no idea what it is in this plane, or in fact any of the other planes. We're just going to have to work it out. So we're going to try first at 200 knots, IAS, which is around 400 kilometers an hour, and let's see how far we go. The engine, we've taken all the fuel out and we can't figure out how to turn it off, so it's going to idle. It's going to generate negligible thrust, so it's just as good as having an engine off. RC, your predictions. Can we in the MiG-21 do 68 miles, which is a glide ratio of like 1 in 6 or something like that?
My prediction is no.
No. Well, stand by.
I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going to say no.
Oh, we all hope you're wrong, RC. Right, this is actually going to require some concentration. So, balancing 5 degrees angle of attack at, too fast now, so up stick a little. Half stick, sorry. 215 knots. Okay, we've got it balanced. 6 degrees angle of attack. I wish DCS would let us output how much net drag, or how much gross drag we're creating. Wouldn't that be useful?
Yeah.
BD!
It'll only be useful to 2 people.
For calculating the shuttle's glide ratio.
Right.
But I want it. I can actually see the runway 70 miles. Thank you, RC. Get it on Jira. I can see the runway in front. Roger.
High priority.
TACAN SRHBN is coded, if that helps. Okay, I feel like I've done a lot of miles, if I'm honest. Bearing in mind, valued viewers, I'm only 200 knots, but because we're so high, and because of the physics of the world, and it means we're still supersonic. Well, almost supersonic. Not anymore. We're actually transonic. See down there on our Mach meter, we're at Mach 0.9 now. And I'm losing speed. The alpha's got too high, so I'm going to let off the aft stick a little. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I was really not confident about this before. I'm actually quite confident about it now. The air is just so thin up here, RC. There is no drag on this airframe. I don't mean that literally, but I mean there's there's like as much drag as me blowing on the face of my pussycat. There's just hardly any drag of it. So we're going to cash in that potential energy, which is massive, a vast amount of joules, into excellent forward kinematics or kinetics.
Remember, you have to put it on the runway. It's not just about
I've got to put it on the runway. We never discussed this in debrief.
It's not about getting to the runway. It's about putting it on the runway.
Right. Okay. I wish you told me that before, because I haven't got my rudder pedal. We'll do it without rudder pedals. That's fine, guys.
What do you mean? You have to land it. That's
right.
a part of the shuttle.
Well, I thought we were just looking at the kind of kinematics of the glide, but okay, fine. The shuttle wants to survive.
No.
We'll survive. I think I've gone off azimuth. Whoops. Another thing I've realised, this is going to take forever, but that's okay. I want to stay high as long as I can, is another thing I've learned. This thin air is absolutely lovely for gliding in terms of moving forward. Okay, oh, the alpha's got too high, RC. Oh, I'm stalling. Down, get that nose down. Come on, I really want to make this. Okay, nose is down. Okay, valued viewers, we're going to speed up time because this is going to take forever. But it means I do need to concentrate. And you know me, I get distracted by shiny things real friggin' easy. 40,000 feet. Wish I knew how far I'd gone. So I've kept to my promise of staying about 200 knots, about 400 clicks per hour, as you can see. You know, I deviated a little bit, but between friends. Odds 10 knots between friends, RC. Not a lot. Not a lot. I'm actually quite proud of myself of doing this quite well. This thin air is lovely. Oh, it's starting to thicken. It's turned from a very thin, wafy chocolate bar to like a thick syrup. I'm feeling syrupy, RC. Meow. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. I'm not going to use flaps, valued viewers, because these flaps are blown flaps, which means they use the compressed air from the engine to work, and which means they would just cause more drag than the lift they would give without using without the engine on. Interesting thing is, I've got no fuel in this plane, but the engine is still running after 60 odd miles, so minor problem there, but
Seems like you might have limited fuel.
have I turned in limited fuel? Oh, you know what? It really doesn't matter. That engine's not making any thrust. I might have accidentally turned on unlimited fuel value viewers, but I don't think it's going to matter. I can guarantee that's making no thrust, and it's basically making no difference to our glide slope. Well, I'll see I'm here. I friggin' made it.
Good.
I honestly, one thing I didn't think I'd do today was go 68 miles with no gas. How chuffed am I about that? Right, I've still got to land it. Right, I've got to try and get my rudder pedal set up, so excuse me, valued viewers. While we're actually going to have to use air brake, RC. The next question is, how far will this glide? Bearing in mind, this will be the worst one in DCS. Maybe the Mirage. Mirage or this. Yeah, we're going to go for the air brake. Air brake on. Coming in hot, boys. We're going to have to do the fabled S-turns that the shuttle did. Can you remember?
It does it much higher, though.
Can you remind me what... It does do it a little bit higher. Can you remember what, RC? It probably does have to do this. Do you reckon? If they come in too fast, which could happen, I bet they have to put some S-turns in. Lower down as a contingency. Yeah. I don't think that's beyond the realms of possibility.
I think it's probably a procedure that they have. I don't think they ever had to do it. They were slow.
Yeah, right. Retrimming. Down to 2. Can you remember how fast we landed? It's a while since we've been on this plane.
It's fast.
That helps, RC. I'll go at 900.
I mean, like 200.
Roger. Air brake in.
Otherwise, you just fall out of the sky.
Well, one thing we don't want to do today is fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
Boys on the stream are talking about Airbus glide ratios. Whopping great ratios of big, wide glider wings. All that talking, I've now burnt off too much speed. Well done, Cap, you idiot. Lucky we chose such a long runway.
You're good on speed.
Now, because the engine's still running, I've got hydraulics and the gear will come out, so amazing, but I'll guess that, you know what, it's funny how things work out. It turns out we needed infinite fuel, because otherwise I couldn't have got the gear out, because the hydraulics would have gone, so.
You could have pulled your emergency gear.
Yeah, by the way, the gear aren't coming out, just saying. Any idea why they're not coming out, RC?
Your gear lock, is that off?
Oh, I forgot the gear lock! Lord, Jeebus, help us! I'm gonna stall it. All because of the gear lock. I'm only gonna friggin' land it. I'm only gonna land it!
Yeah,
68 miles, RC! Bring it on!
Right.
Oh! That was our first time we didn't practice,
Good
and
job.
it's just literally perfect. So it turns out that the glide ratio of the shuttle is essentially the same as a MiG-21. I mean, that's literally lands at 250 miles an hour, lands at about 200 knots, give or take a couple of tens. That's identical to the shuttle. Isn't that weird? And we guessed that because roughly the size of the wing in relation to the fuselage, which would give us a rough and the same wing loading, although the shuttle, I think, uses fuselage lift, and this probably doesn't use any fuselage lift, but blah, 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 blah. Really happy about that. Anything you want to add, RC?
Nope.
I hope you enjoyed that. See you later.